Hi, Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Uh, Finally, we are here. It's 5 p.m. Monday, 27th April, inshallah. So we're going to be very brief with time. Bismillah, I'm going to do 15 minutes. So we'll start in the next 2-3 minutes. Sorry, I can't. I'm seeing everybody joining in. I may be unable to say your well wishes because we're really strict on time and really want to finish up within 15 minutes so we can go back to our activities, inshallah. So we'll start with Bismillah Rahman Rahim. In the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful. We give Allah all the glory, all the adoration, all the exaltation for this wonderful day and for letting us see the month of Ramadan. We beseech His mercy on the Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu and his messengers, his family, and all those who believe in him from now to the day of resurrection. We also pray that Allah Subhanahu wa Taala will make us enjoy the best of Ramadan 2020 and subsequent Ramadans to come. We pray that everything we are asking from Him in this period, He would give us, He would grant us, and He would make sure that we get it in full, manifold, and beyond our expectations. So I want to welcome you on today's sessions of using a Ramadan checklist, and I'm going to set my timer on 15 minutes, and inshallah when it's 15 minutes time we will end the session. And then if there are any questions in the chat room, I'll be checking through. We'll quickly attend to them within the space of 5 minutes. And this is also impromptu. So one of the things that the team has decided to do is, if we have a lot of questions, we would collate them into small graphic designs and put them up on the post tomorrow, and then put the answers correspondingly so that you can have the answers to your questions and all that. But in case you missed this session, we would have it recorded. And yes, so reminds me, I haven't been recording this. So we're going to have this recorded, and then we can share with us eventually, inshallah. Okay. No, so we'll go back. Yes, we would have it recorded, inshallah, and then we can then put it up on the post subsequently, and you can now have it checked later on, biiznillah. So okay, apologies, I'm trying to start this. Yes, thank you. Yeah, so we're going to start with the timer now. 15 minutes. Madam Fatima, please help us with the timer. Thank you very much. Yes, so let's continue. We have the Ramadan checklist. I'll be sharing it with you on the show as we proceed, and we are going to, yes, I'm trying to get something out, so sorry. Yes, so yep. This is going forward. While we're at this, I'm also trying to check to be sure that we don't have questions that are coming up, and we are also not missing out on anything with anyone. I need for us to be able to be a bit more patient. Yes, thank you. So yes, I wanted to have my documents opened so that when I'm sharing or describing or explaining the checklist with us, we know what I'm talking about. So yes, thank you. Hi everyone, I'm going to start very briefly. The timer is on now, and I'm going to start explaining the checklist, inshallah. So what we've done is to create a checklist. We've realized that a lot of people have made great plans to spend Ramadan in the most effective way, inshallah, but most often than not, we are humans, and then sometimes we just get carried away with every other activity around us. So it's not very easy for us to be able to do the things that we had planned in mind. But with a checklist is a piece of documents that you can use it on your phone. With the way we've designed it, if you have Microsoft Word on your phone, you can open it very easily, and if you're going to use your normal photo apps, you can also open it very easily then use the edit function on your photo application and begin to tick through each of the activities that you carry out on a periodic basis. So what we've done is to do the checklist in such a way that we can now say, oh, when it comes to solar, what are the things that I'm going to do? When it comes to say sahur, am I doing this or am I doing that? And then you can also make additional notes, you know, behind your checklist to be sure that you're capturing information as you should and when you should, which is extremely very, very, very important. Right. So the checklist was divided into 3 parts. We have a section for solar observation, we have a section for the Quranic study tracker, and then we have a third section that we just called others. And then others is just, well, others, right? So I'm going to share the first one, which is on the Quranic Ramadan checklist, and I hope you'd be able to see what we've done. I haven't done this before, so pardonnez-moi. Yes, now I have shown on my screen what we call the Quranic study tracker. Now, how does this checklist work? It's divided into about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 columns. There is the juz, there is the begin and end, there is the read, there is the study, there is the okay, and of course there is date. Yeah, so what we've done is to say, for example, remember we had a post previously that said that you should recite 5 pages a day. Now there is a more precise calculation to that. You actually can do 4 pages a day and then you'd finish the Quran in 30 days, because if you do 4 pages a day, 4 pages per solar, if you complete your 5 daily solar, you would have done 20 pages in 1 solar, and that means you've done a juz. And then if you continue that way for 30 days, on the 30th day you'll be finishing inshallah on Surah 114, which is Surah An-Nas, and then that means that you've completed the entire Quran, alhamdulillah, in the month of Ramadan. But you know, we are Muslim women, and then nature would always take its course. At some point in time you'd have to go off salat, off sahur, because you are in your menstrual flow period, and that means that we cannot do 30 days completely for most of us. And then because again our menstrual flow cycles differ from woman to woman, for some people it can be as little as 3 days, for some others can be as long as 8 days. So what do we do in that case? So in this case we have decided to say, what if we don't do 4 pages per solar? What if we do 5 pages per solar? How would that help, right? So in doing 5 pages per solar, you would be ahead of the male counterparts by a good 4 to 5 days. And one other trick you can do is to say, in between the Fajr and Zuhr solar, we have the solar to Adwa. You can also recite some 2-3 pages, and that would also give you extra timing ahead of our Muslim brothers who can fast all 30 days in Ramadan completely, if Allah wills, without any illness or anything extra bringing their Ramadan to an end, right? So this tracker that I'm sharing on my screen right now is divided on the basis of 4 pages per solar. However, we are saying count 5 pages per salat. So it means that if today is day 4, we should be at the very minimum on number 93, verse 93 of Surah Al Imran, which is Quran 3, and we should be ending after Isha on Surah An-Nisa, which is Quran 4, verse 23. Now, if you are away, if you are above this, alhamdulillah, it's good, keep it up, but do 5 pages per solar from now. But if you've not gotten to this part, one of the first trick I'm going to give to you is to say, during Salat to Adwa, you can recite at least 3 pages or at least 4 pages. Salat Adwa is usually between, if I'm not wrong, 9, 10, 9:30 to 9:50, but you can also check Google to be sure of the time of Salatu Adwa now in your current location, and this is me speaking from Lagos State. right. So you can also use part of your salat, part of your Quranic recitation during Salatu Tahajjud. So when you're observing Tahajjud in the middle of the night, you can also recite from portions of the Quran to also help you increasing what you've read in order to meet up with your total Ramadan count or Quranic count in the month of Ramadan. So it also means that you can use those two different processes to cover up the gaps in case you're not already on day number 4 checklist. Now, how do you use this particular checklist? So let's assume that you're right now in between Quran 3 verse 93 and Quran 4 verse 23. You're in between that portion of the Quran as at this time in point. What you're going to do is you're going to tick under the read column. You're going to tick that yes, you've read the Quran today. Now, did you study the Quran? It's one thing for us to recite Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alamin Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim Maliki Yawmiddin, but do you know what these words are saying? Do you have an understanding of what it is telling you to do? That is where studying the Quran comes in very handy. You can do that. A lot of us now have the Quran mobile applications on our phones. A lot of us have English Quran booklets. You can use that to study the Quran. So what this checklist is also telling you to do is to say, for example, I have recited say Surah Al-Imran. Let's say right now I'm on Surah Al-Imran 150 verse 150. Now I'm going to go back and now study what did the verses I just recited, what does it mean. Now if I studied, I'm going to tick. If I did not study, well, I'm not going to tick that part. Now the next is saying that the next one is saying, did you memorize? Now, memorizing the Quran is, if you're going to follow this tracker, then it means that you aim to memorize the entire Quran in 30 days. But again, you can cut it into subsections. What are the surahs that you want to memorize in the month of Quran? Or what are the verses that you want to memorize in the month of Quran? So say for example, I want to memorize Surah Al-Mulk and Surah Al-Qaf, and that's Quran 50 and Quran 67 and 50 respectively. And I'm going to cut them into sections. One of the things you should also understand while using the checklist is to understand your day's activities. This is a period where a lot of us are home from lockdown. That is for you in cities or countries where it is applicable, and for some of us we have curfews from particular times of the day to another time of the day, and for some of us we're very free, we don't have to go anywhere. But some of us are working from home, some of us still have to go to the office, some of us have family needs to be met, children, spouses, siblings, parents, and a whole lot of other things. So you need to understand your day's activity. What are the things that demand your time in a day? Now, using that as an example or as a case study, you can now look at it to say, can I memorize 2 surahs in the month of Ramadan, or can I memorize 1 surah, or what is that longing surah I have always wished to know by heart? Now look at the total ayah that is contained in that surah, look at vis-a-vis the periods that you think you can spare, and divide it. Now let me use Quran 67 for example. It has 30 verses which are neither too long nor too short, so I won't compare it with the Surah to Al-Kahf is 18, Surah to Qaf, which is Surah 50, which has short verses at the beginning. Somewhere in between there are longer verses, somewhere in between there are very long verses, and all of that. I could now say, for example, my capability would be to memorize 2 verses in a day, and my target is to do that within 3 weeks. So when I break that down, I know if I don't memorize 2 new verses in a day, I have not memorized. So that would come under my tracker to say tick or cross. And a cross means that you're putting like an X sign to say you did not do it, and a tick, like when you mark somebody correctly, means that you did it. So that can help you with the memorization path. And to make it less confusing for some people, what you can do is to go, we have on the documents link, when you click the link to download this checklist, you would see another part that says additional notes. So on additional notes, you can now say, oh, my memorization was Surah Al-Kahf, and it has this amount of verses. I'm doing this amount of verses per day, and I've done day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4. Remember also that during your ifs period, one of the things you should do is, if you have memorized, say, verses 1 and 2 yesterday, if I'm memorizing verses 3 and 4 today, I should recollect verses 1 and 2. That is how if works best, so that I know that I now know 1 to 4 at the end of today. And then tomorrow, when I'm doing 5 and 6, I'm reminding myself by reciting offhand verses 1 to 4 to be sure that I still remember, and then I'm adding verses 5 and 6 and so on and so forth. So this is how this Ramadan tracker can help you. Like I said, you can use it on your phone, or you can also print it out and have it stuck on maybe your kitchen cabinet or something, or on your wardrobe, or somewhere you can see it very easily to say, oh, Mariam, have I done this? Or Fatima, have I done that? Right. So this is for the Quranic tracker. Yeah. So I'm going to go to the second checklist that we've done for you, and that is what we call the Salat observation checklist. In the month of Ramadan, observing our Salah is important. Like, it is so important that I don't even know how to explain it, but you have to observe Salat with all the requirements of observing Salat. You have to be there on time, dress properly, be in the right state of wudu, be concentrating, and all of that stuff. And then this is even the month where a lot of people get to do extra with their Salat. What do I mean by extra? Observe Nawafil, make tons of dua, do a lot of other things. So how are you observing your Salah in the month of Ramadan? We also had a checklist that is going to help us with that. I'm looking for it. Yes, so awesome, it is on. And this checklist is very, very interesting. What we did with this checklist is to divide it into the first 10 days, next 10 days, and the last 10 days. So what you have on the screen right now is first 10 days of Ramadan. You have the last 10 days of Ramadan, you have the mid 10 days of Ramadan. So it's basically the same content, it's just that the headings are different, and then the days by the sides are also different. Now, what does this Salat observation ask of you? It's very easy. Now, if you look at the top of the Salat observation checklist, you have say, for example, the first 10 days. Now you have Fajr, Zuhr, Asri, Maghrib, and Isha, which are the 5 compulsory Salat that a Muslim must do every day of their lives. And then you have some initials, O, N, and D. What does that tell you? What does it mean? Now, if you look to the bottom of the checklist, you're going to see that we have something called on time, observed Nawafil, made dua after Salah, and that is what the initials stand for. So O means that you observed Salah on time. So for day 1, Alhamdulillah, we're just on day 4, so you can honestly remember what happened 3 days ago, 2 days ago, and on the first day of Ramadan. So after this session, and after downloading your checklist, I want you to sit back, try to remember the first 3 days of Ramadan and how you spent them, so that you can tick them on your Ramadan checklist. My timer is almost up, so I'm going to be very fast with the rest of my explanations. So for example, today is day 4. I'm going to use me, Mariam, as a case study. I observed Fajr on time. I observed Fajr at around 5:45 a.m. today. So I'm going to tick on in front of number 4, and in front of O for Fajr, I'm going to tick that as a correct. So it means that I observed Fajr on time. The next is N. Did I observe Nawafil? Yes, Alhamdulillah. I observed Rakatain Fajr before my Fajr this morning, but I did not observe Rakatain Fajr before my Fajr yesterday. So on day 3, I'm going to have a no, that's a cross sign in front of N for Fajr, but for number 4, I'm going to have a tick sign to say yes, I did, and I did. Then for Zuhr, okay, so D is, did I make dua after Salah? Now, during non-Ramadan period, it is very easy to just say, Allah, Assalamu alaikum warahmatullah, Assalamu alaikum warahmatullah, just dust your wrapper and you're on the move. But this is Ramadan. Guess what? Duas made in this period has like 100% guarantee of being accepted. So why are we wasting it? Yes, you've said Rabbana atina fid dunya hasanatan wa fil akhirati hasanatan wa qina azaban nar. Yes, you've said that. What are the other specific things that you want Allah to do for you? Are you asking for good health? Are you asking for provision for your family? Are you asking for a good place of work? Are you asking for contentment? Are you asking Allah to take away from you some certain bad habits? You need to ask of these things from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So this is where made dua after salah comes into place. Are you doing that? If you've not done that for the last 3 days, you tick a no in the boxes in front of D, and then you're going to do that for Fajr, Zuhr, Asri, Maghrib, and Isha every day till the last day of Ramadan, right? And this is how this checklist is going to help you to achieve Salat observation. One other thing you can add, and then on the additional note section you can add other things to yours. We're going to leave a blank space, and then we're not going to have any letters. I'm not going to have anything in the key, so you're going to put in your own key to say J, and J can mean Jama. Did I observe Salat in Jama? Yes or no? So any other criteria that you think is important to you, you can have them in your checklist. But remember, during the COVID-19 period, remember where Jama is not compulsory. But if you have a family that can constitute a Jama in your home, please do so and join them in Salah. Otherwise, refrain from going to the masjid for now, so that we stay safe, stay home, and stay healthy for Allah's sake. And the last checklist is very plenty, like it's really massive. I'm going to share that right now, and that is where we have the others. Now, as you can see, this particular checklist, it contains a lot of items, and it has almost all the other things that we thought would be beneficial for us. So I didn't want to use first 10 days. I wanted to use another part of Ramadan. Remember again that Ramadan is divided into 3 parts: the first 10 days, the middle 10 days, and the last 10 days. And that is on the basis for which we've done this checklist for you all today. Now, this checklist is on the middle 10 days of Ramadan. We have for the first 10 days and the last 10 days. This is for the last 10 days. This is for the first 10 days. So I'm going to just work with the middle 10 days. And you can see that they have the numbers there: day 11, day 12, 13, 14, 15, up till 20. And then you now have the items, each and one of them. So the first one is saying recite. Did you recite the Quran on day 11? Yes or no? Tick. Did you recite your morning azkar? A lot of us after Ramadan, we don't. A lot of us, we do. So which category are you in Ramadan? Do you remember your morning azkar and your evening azkar? If you have forgotten it, I hope that this checklist will help you to remember that you have a duty to seek Allah's refuge and protections from the things that we see, the things that we do not see, the things that we know, the things that we do not know, etc., etc., etc. And that is what the morning and evening azkar can help you do. So you need to tick these boxes if you did them or did not do them. One of the best things you can use for your azkar is the Al-Masura leaflet, which I think a lot of us do have, and some of us have the MP3 recorded versions from our favorite sheikhs around the world. Download, listen, play alongside, recite with them, learn them by heart, and so that if you're less busy or in an activity that does not require a lot of concentration, you can just have your azkar done by the side. The method I use for my morning azkar is to do it after Fajr, and the method I use for my evening azkar is to do it after Asri. But you can do it after Maghrib or after Isha. But remember that there are a lot of activities after Maghrib, like you need to eat, very important, and after Isha there is Taraweeh and recitation of the Quran. So after Asri may work for you like it does for me. And we have, yes, reciting Surah Al-Kahf on Fridays. This is Ramadan. You need to take advantage of all the benefits that Islam has to offer, so including reciting Al-Kahf on Fridays. Take that. So if a Friday is on, say, now, good example, first day of Ramadan was a Friday. So did you recite Kahf on that Friday? You would go to day 1, which is on this page. and then tick in Al-Kaf Friday. The next one will be on the 8th, next one will be on the next, like that. So you tick each Friday that is proportionate to a Ramadan day. Did you read Kaf on that day or did you not? The next one is observe. Did you observe Sahur? I know that sounds a bit strange, like why is she putting that on the list? I struggle with Sahur. Technically I do, but in Ramadan, well, maybe because everybody else is eating, you can afford to eat, but for some people they can't really take in very heavy food or solid meals at that time of the morning, so they probably do liquids or they don't do anything. Now remember that the Prophet, peace be upon him, said that there is blessing in eating the sahur meal, so you can't afford to skip that blessing. It is very simple to do. Just take in something. So if you look at this checklist and you know you're somebody who cannot eat solid food or heavy foods in the mornings, what you can do is to just tick. If you took tea, then tick. You've taken sahur. If you took water, then tick. If you took date palms or a fruit or something, then tick. That has helped you to eat sahur. Next, you have tahajjud. Did you observe tahajjud? You tick. Did you observe tarawih? You tick. Did you perform any act of sadaqah on that day? If you did, then tick. If you did not, then, well, you have a no. Did you? And then Juma. Did you observe Juma on a particular Friday for which Juma was due? Remember again, COVID-19, if it's not affecting your area, then yes. If it is, please stay at home. Did you observe zikri, as little as saying subhanallah, alhamdulillah, Allahu Akbar, la ilaha illallah, sending salawat on the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam? There are a lot of zikri that we can chant when we are working, when we are doing something, when we are not doing anything, when we are lying on our bed waiting for maybe iftar, weak and tired, you can chant zikri. So this checklist is asking you, did you do that? And then going down, you now have, did you memorize the Quran? Remember, we've also said memorize in the first checklist, but this place is also coming back to remind us, did you memorize the Quran? Did you memorize an hadith? Did you memorize any du'as? رَبَّنَا آتِنَا فِي الدُّنْيَا حَسَنَةً وَفِي الْآخِرَةِ حَسَنَةً وَقِنَا عَذَابَ النَّارِ. It's a very simple dua, but if you did not memorize it, you can't say it by heart. You would need to look for a book where you wrote it down. This is the best time to memorize dua, so that when you're observing salat or you're asking Allah for something, they just flow. You just say them and they flow. Did you study the Quran today? Did you read a book? Read an Islamic book to help broaden your Islamic knowledge about the things you should do and the things that you should not do. Did you also listen to tafsir? So these are some of the things that the checklist can help you do on others. So alhamdulillah, we've covered all the checklists that we have prepared for you in the month of Ramadan. The link for download will be up after iftar, inshallah, on our bio page. So just come on the page after iftar, inshallah, and you will see the link to downloading the documents there. Now, what this document is supposed to help you do is to help you reflect. It is supposed to help you meditate. So at the end of every day, go back to your checklist and look across them. What did you do? What did you not do? What you did not do, what would you have said? What's the problem? On our additional note on that checklist, we even went further to say, did you read a book? What book did you read? What chapter to what chapter did you read? What did you memorize? What chapter to what chapter did you memorize? Why did you memorize? Can you write it there? And all of that, so that after this period you can also come back to look at your checklist to see, have I done well? So it is like you scoring yourself well, not on the effectiveness or if it was accepted by Allah. That is strictly for Allah. We don't know, but we pray His aid and His mercy and His favor. But we're just saying, did you also do your part? We hope that you have been able to use this checklist, and we hope that it is effective for you and you were able to get something meaningful out of it. I'm way behind my 15 minutes, so I'm going to just round up. Alhamdulillah, we don't have any questions. Okay, we don't have any questions, but like I said, if you have any questions, you can send us a DM. We'll put it up on the page and we'll put the answer, or we can answer you directly in the DM if you want us to do that privately with you. So Jazakumullah khairan. Thank you very much for sparing your time. We pray that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will make this Ramadan an effective one for us. May He accept all of our heart's desires. May He accept all of the du'as that we've put forth to Him. May He accept everything that we've asked of Him so far. May He accept everything that we've been begging Him to do and more. May He be with our families, our friends, and our loved ones. May He give us the kind of attitudes that Ramadan should enlist in every Muslim during, before, and after Ramadan. I pray that Allah's blessings and His salawat and His ridwan and His sakina and His rahmah and His barakah will be with us all, inshallah, from now to the end of time. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah wa barakatuh. Bye bye.